9:30 on a Thursday night, and you're tuned into Rip Radio Network, which can mean one and only thing. What's that mean, Tez?
Yo, you're tuned in to Chip Chat.
This is
on
Chip
Rip
Chat.
Radio Network.
Yeah.
What's poppin', y'all?
I'm Chip.
This isn't the B'nai B'rith Society.
No.
I was told this was going to be the B'nai B'rith Society.
No, sorry
Make sure
about
you get
that.
the microphone close to your face, Charlie. We know how you like
I
that.
thought, yep.
Oh, how we were
That's Charlie, by the way. No, he does. It's, he's into it. Yeah, there you go. Not that close.
It's Yom Kippur all over again.
Yeah, sorry. You're supposed to fast on Yom Kippur, Charlie.
Bitch, I was hungry.
I bet.
Oh,
No
Lord.
tube steak on
For real? Okay.
Yom Kippur.
See where,
All right.
where we're at tonight.
Yeah. So if you hear that voice, actually has his own voice tonight for the first time in a long time, is Charlie.
The last time I was on here, I was aiming DeSantis, the praying mantis.
That's right. That's true.
It's a great episode.
It's one of our best.
I was actually pleasantly
That was
surprised at how
really
well
good.
that turned out.
That was really good.
I was what's that feeling we had, that proud ashamed thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had that.
Where you smile but put your hand in your,
you just know it's
or your
not.
face
And
in your
before
hand
that,
at
it
the
was
same
Mike
time.
Lindell.
Yeah, it's true.
The Mike Lindell one is still probably
You're
my
very,
personal
very
favorite one.
good Mike Lindell, too. All right, so we are broadcasting live here from the Free State, which is the nickname of Maryland, in case people didn't know that. It's not my home state.
I was going to say, Free State is always funny. I wonder how,
Miss Tubman felt about that.
or Mr. Douglas.
Mr. Douglas, yeah.
just a little bit questions.
We want to highlight that we're here in Maryland because at this very moment, the capital of the Confederacy still stands back in the Commonwealth. And if you thought there was a lot of things named Lee before, you just wait. They're going to name everything. They're going to name things that were already named after
We're just going to say it's
Lee.
after Socialist Delegate Lee Carter.
Right,
To
that's
celebrate
right.
his 2 terms in the House of Delegates.
That's
There you
right.
go.
Yeah. Okay. Way to go.
He's on it.
Charlie's an expert. All right, so
Or it'll be for anyone in the Korean community or Chinese community named Lee.
sure, why not?
I'm on a chat thread with someone. We did a video chat a couple days ago, and I said, "Oh, by the way, Kevin Lee, I have some bad news. They renamed the street after your family in my neighborhood, but Jefferson Davis Highway still stands." So.
Yeah, but not in Arlington anymore.
Not in Arlington. No.
Nah.
All right, so
Gone.
anyway, Charlie is here because he's a Virginia politics expert in his real life.
God, I don't know if there's actually many questions, to be honest, but
No.
a reaction to Tuesday.
No, there's more. There are
There's a
specific
lot.
questions. I mean, we could wrap it all up in one thing, Cracker Barrel, but we're not. we're gonna get some
man,
details.
I could go for Cracker Barrel, man. Oh, I could go for Cracker
Maybe
Barrel.
you can. Tez can't. They have a sign about that out front. All right. So also we have bombshell reporting about the coup from the Washington Post. There's probably more coming. I would imagine next week we will be covering that. UT Austin, Texas is in fact back in the best way possible, making college football great again. And I cannot stress to you how happy I am, apart from Michigan's utter failure, that there is college football because it is so good right now. And I can't wait to talk about this story, but it features a monkey.
It does.
This is unbelievable. So,
God, didn't we learn from Travis?
we thought, but no, we did not. Also, buy our stuff.
Oh, yeah.
We have to shill our
Of course.
wares. Yeah.
Where is it at?
Go to theripshop.com.
There it is.
You can buy our gear. We have new gear. You can there's new adjustable masks on there, by the way. So I want to encourage people to get those.
If y'all made a leather vest, I would promote it at certain gatherings.
We will get right on that.
We got to do that pre-order.
Yeah.
We got to get it going. We can't just make that.
I don't know.
That got to go to the special shop.
Yeah, exactly.
Our listener cross-section probably features a fair amount of that.
We'll figure it out. We throw it up there, and then
Dre, if you're listening, we'll get you one too.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
and remember, you cannot purchase you can
purchase the apron, not the white woman.
not the white woman.
No, we are not selling white women.
Or the dog.
Nope. Also, the Rippies.
Can't adopt them either.
The Rippies are December 18th. But most importantly, apart from that we're hosting, is that you can vote for us. So you need to be going to ripradionetwork.com and click the tab that says Rippies and vote for us as often as you possibly can manage it. That's like near constantly, and use multiple computers, multiple browsers, different IP addresses.
Yeah, like create a bot.
Yeah, like create a bot maybe. If only there was somebody who had the capacity to engineer such a thing.
I got so much going
and
on.
And maybe a little bit of server space to make it happen. Just saying.
Sales.
Yeah,
we want sales.
We want to vote. We want you to vote for us for the best show.
Yes,
we want
please.
you to vote for us for best duo. And somehow I am nominated for best male personality. Again, a category I have won previously.
You won that?
What personality?
I'm still looking for it, but that's why you're here tonight. All right, so that's all going on. And then come to the show, December 18th, which we will be hosting.
We'll be hosting.
So even if we don't win, you have to look at us. Which is unfortunate for you.
Yeah, it works out for me.
Yeah, it's fine. We don't care. It's
more
more time on stage.
Exactly. People are going to be getting so many drinks.
They're going to be tired. Yeah, right? The bar's going to be packed.
Yo,
I got these two idiots again. I'm going to the bar. Shit.
It's probably going to be like the first time you've seen a lot of these people in the same place in like a long time.
That's true. And by then we'll all be boosted and all that stuff, so it'll be really great. We had the announcement show last Friday. At the venue there at the Hilton on Capitol Hill.
How was that?
It was fantastic. It was lovely to see everybody. People were in costumes. We did a little karaoke. It was fun, but it was just great to be all together for the first time in a really long time. And the Rippies is a special thing because fake radio doesn't get the credit that it deserves, so we give ourselves our own credit, and it feels good to be with other fake radio people.
Isn't that the whammies?
It's like the SAG Awards, It's like the writers writing for themselves.
The Golden Globes.
There you go. Cuddling ourselves. That's
big
fine.
circle jerk with a big phallic award. It's amazing.
I'm interested to go to this as well too because I know this is a black radio show, and then I'm on this show with you, and I get to get up there.
And our producer is the white guy in Rip Radio.
Yeah, obviously.
White man over there, producer. Also,
Chalkboard Charlie is been on other shows.
We didn't call him.
I didn't call him. Look, you
that
can go listen
show
to that.
that isn't gonna win.
Yeah.
Called him that.
Yeah, it's not game time, man.
No, we don't know. Yeah, we're still mad about that.
Yeah.
Charlie also has a job predicting award show. I'm going to guess he's going to be able to predict the Rippies.
I think I would watch out for Judi Dench at that thing.
Yeah.
I think she has a very good shot there.
Not with that pink money.
Oh, there you go. I traded my pink money in today.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
You got real money?
Yeah, I got real money.
Good. Did you use it for something?
No, it's because that
exchange
bank
rate.
that they say the bank for the whole country. I'm not going to name them, but that bank that I have.
Not the Federal Reserve.
Not the Federal.
The other one that claims the name for the entire country somehow.
And
nobody is like, hey, man. I don't know how you get to be
in an abusive relationship with that bank.
I think everybody is.
So I just need to. Yeah, it's bad. But
my bank has changed names so many times I don't even know what it's called anymore.
For real?
It's not First Virginia anymore. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Well, it was then it was BBT.
Now it's Truist.
And I was on SunTrust, and so now I'm on Truist as well.
I only know that because they bought the naming rights to the Trastros ballpark. Or no, to the Braves ballpark. Yeah. Never mind.
Yeah.
Who beat the Trastros, by the way. Congratulations.
Cobb County, good job.
Congratulations to Atlanta.
Cobb County. No,
sorry. Not the city itself. Right, yeah.
I'm sorry. I know there's a couple
Congratulations.
of Atlanta folks out there.
It's a good way to send Hank back to heaven, right? The Braves win the World Series. Hank, there you go. That's for you. All right, the real home run king. We're going to do our words.
Oh, wow.
And then we're going to do some radio. It's going to be crazy. I feel like tonight's going to be one of those nights. I feel like we say that a lot, but
I think so. It's going to be.
All right, do you have a word? Charlie, do you have a word?
I have a word.
Oh, Charlie's ready.
Oh, so we're going to do, how does this work? I've never did.
I don't know. We're going to do a three-way word
combo.
I don't know. Right. What do we do that? It's like a Biggie size?
I guess. I don't know.
No, not that kind. No. White man? No. Can't trust the white man.
Retweet.
Yep.
It's like what my grandmother always told me. Always jiggle the handle and don't trust Whitey.
That's right. Okay. Yeah. I think I'm ready now with my word. Do you have a word? So we'll go 1, 2, 3. How's that?
That works for me. Yeah, mine is an acronym.
So
right, but there's only 2 blanks.
Yeah, well, you can add a blank. So grab some blank. It's extra blank time. Okay. Yeah, like that. That's how we're going to do it. Okay? All right. So you got your word?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So sit back, grab some
CRT.
It's
grievance.
Porno jazz time. You're listening to the best show, the only show, Chip Chat on Ripped Radio Network. Sleeps. Chat here on Rip Radio Network. I'm your host, Chip. With me is Tez.
What's poppin', y'all?
And joining us tonight as Virginia politics editor of the Chip Chat desk, Charlie.
Is it I'm just reviewing all my data and
yes,
everything.
There you go.
I'm doing my Steve Kornacki.
He's our Kornacki, yeah. You have a thing for Kornacki, don't you?
Oh, God, yes.
What, is it the khakis?
It's the glasses.
It's the glasses?
It's the glasses.
But you have the same glasses.
No, he has a bit of the thinner rims on the glasses.
Is that's the thing?
And he's just so freaking adorable. He's just
he's so earnest.
I want to put him in my pocket, you know? It's like, you know, you want to take him home to meet mom and pa, you know?
I feel like he's into it. I mean, Kornacki's kind of a...
Well, he is gay.
No, we know that. I mean, but like, you know, he's sort of like an old-fashioned kind of like... Would love to meet your mom and pa and eat some pie. Oh, yeah,
but he'd also love to talk sports with you as well.
Forever.
Yeah. Well.
I actually like his sports stuff when he's like on the other shows. He's really good.
Oh, yeah, no, he's really awesome.
Guy's like a super nerd.
Love
it. Just deep into it, yeah.
As deep, yeah. Like, you know why politics reporters and like generally Washington reporters love baseball? Because it's the same thing. It's this like... utterly pointless endeavor that generates massive amounts of statistics that they can just
and there's so
talk
much
about forever.
You can pick apart so many parts of the numbers.
So it's just something fun for them to play with. Yeah. It doesn't even matter.
The only thing with politics is that it affects people's lives.
Psh, not the white people.
That's true.
They can just treat it like it's a sport.
Fair point.
Do.
Prediction contest.
Yeah, right. Okay, speaking of white people not treating politics fairly, let's talk about the coup. So... The Washington Post, what's fake Washington Post?
Fake news Washington Post.
Fake news Washington Post published this.
The Amazon Washington Post.
The Amazon Washington Post. That's right.
Fake news is New York Times.
I thought it was failing New York Times.
Oh, that's right. It was.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah. So I think it's a fake news Amazon Washington Post. How about that?
Yeah, that works.
All right, it comes on Prime. So anyway, the Post has this. I don't want to call it like a story because it's developing. It's almost like a section now.
Yeah.
Where called The Attack. And it's divided into 3 segments right now, which is the before, the during, and the after, which of course is still happening because we're in it.
Yeah, the after might be here for a while.
We might be in the after for some time until, you know, the Republicans take the House. So the thing that we're finding out in the before is kudos to the Post in the way that they presented this, by the way, because it's brilliantly laid out graphically. It's showing you this timeline. It's showing you like by the hour, by the day, and it's got, you know, video cut in and stuff.
When journalism is funded.
Yeah, right.
This is what happens. I mean, people I know have beef with where the funding comes from, but you know.
That's fair enough. However, at least it's funding journalism. Okay. We thought I thought, I was wrong. I thought I sort of more or less understood the before the January 6th attack on democracy, which I understood to be orchestrated and planned, but at a very stupid level. You know, where these guys, they kind of got together in a chat room and they're like, hey, we should do this. And then Marjorie and Maddie Gates and, Cawthorn rolled by.
Gosar and Brooks.
Yeah, right. Gosar and Brooks showed up, but, Cawthorn rolled in. And they have this idea, they're like, well, we can do this. We've never read the Constitution, but we think this is in it. We heard about it on Alex Jones or whatever. Gorka, maybe. I don't know. So I thought it was like, Gorka fans calling in.
It is I, Gorka!
Yes, right. Well,
let us watch the queen of rom-coms, Nancy Myers, as I rant about jihad.
Okay. So while Alex Jones was eating leftist ass, we found out, I thought that's what it was. But it turns out it was not that. It was stupid planned. I'll give him that. But it was far more stupid planned than I thought. And funded.
Yes, and funded.
So what are we learning about this from this report? Because we assigned each other not to read the same section, and then we read the same section. I couldn't put it down.
Before we get into this, because it's very troubling as you read through it, because there's things that you thought you knew, but
understatement.
Yeah, it's
troubling.
Right. But there were a lot of funny names in some of these.
Yeah.
Like a couple that I got out there was Mr. McGreen Jeans.
Yep.
And then Butt Fart 88.
Yeah.
and I remember that just, sorry, I was a child in me. That's what stuck out for me.
No, that's legitimately funny.
Yeah, those are the people who are actually planning this and going back and forth on
To be clear, these are not their given names.
No, of course not.
This is their what do they call Boogaloo Boy names or whatever?
Their AIM screen names.
Yeah,
they're
right.
just been carrying on.
That's right.
For years on. I think a couple of things that jumped out.
Something 69.
The fusion centers.
Queef Burglar 69.
Yeah,
the Dong Slinger 420.
That's right.
2 dongs, way up.
The fusion centers are something that I thought was very interesting because, you have these things created, I guess, to fight foreign terrorism, but then they're jumping off at this domestic threat that's happening.
So let's explain a fusion center briefly. The Department of Homeland Security, which was created after 9/11, is a cabinet-level position. They have, throughout the country, these things called fusion centers. One of the criticisms at the aftermath of 9/11 was that the different intelligence agencies did not talk to each other.
They were distrustful of each other.
They were distrustful of each other, and for obvious reasons, because they often seek to undermine each other, whatever. And the DHS created these things called fusion centers that the idea was that they would aggregate information from all of the different agencies, including local police and other such things, and have a conduit that would shunt this stuff right up to the top, which it turns out happened.
It did happen.
They noticed all of this stuff brewing at their regional levels. They got it in front of the FBI, and the FBI did not a fucking thing. And one of the things that we're learning in this buildup, we thought that on the day of, the reason that the response was weak was because, of course, the response ultimately goes, the oh my God, we're in trouble signal eventually gets to the White House, and the White House has the ability to go, hold up, we're not going to do anything about that. We knew that day of, they could put their thumb on the scale and stop things from going on. But this thing that was going on prior to that, specifically in terms of FBI Director Wray, is really astounding, because what they, and it's not him, I'm not blaming him for this. What the fusion centers picked up was the chatter. They knew that this was bad. And they had specifics, and they had informants, and they had specific dates, times, money moving around. Money is critical, because money is how everything moves.
You got to have it funded, so yeah.
Okay, they realize we've got a very serious problem, and they get it in front of the FBI, and the FBI goes, oh shit, we do in fact have a very serious problem. However, Trump is just about to fire everybody at the top of the DOJ and the top of the FBI for any fucking
thing. They're like, let's not poke the bear.
So if we
they're because at that point they're just like, let's ride it out to the end.
Yeah. We're so close to the end. If we don't make a fuss about this, but use the controls and apparatus that we can manage without anybody noticing, we might have a chance to stop this. But if we make any noise, we will be removed, and the ability to use that apparatus will evaporate.
It's gone, yeah.
So they made a calculated decision to essentially let this happen with the more than stated understanding that they could let a little bit of trouble occur and then snap the safeties back on and get control of this. But if they tried to do it preemptively, they would be sacked. Is that more or less what you took from this?
Yeah. I guess even then, even DHS, the other piece I saw in there was like they flew in Border Patrol agents to protect their stuff in DC.
Their stuff.
But they didn't issue out anything. They didn't put out anybody to anyone about that. And it was like, all right, like, isn't that your whole job? But then I guess, in reading through the PC, how difficult it is when it comes to doing this with American citizens versus this being a foreign threat. And I see what they're leaning on, but I know what they're leaning on is you can't. These white people, you can't be out here infringing on their freedoms.
Right, you can't infringe on the white people.
They always talk about the optics of everything.
There it is.
Yeah. You can't be seen arresting dozens of white people. But the other thing that it seems really obvious to me about what DHS and FBI are kind of dealing with is they are built to handle a threat with the understanding that the president and the executive branch also doesn't want that threat to occur.
Point. That's a good point.
So the idea that they would have to like thwart their bosses who are the threat, we have no mechanism for that.
It's not set up that way.
And, you know, in other countries, they worry about this kind of thing and have, because they're newer countries and they don't really have this institutional backstop. And so they create systems with like explicitly independent security services, or they, you know, with independent armies or whatever, like, so that they, you know, and they're like, we know we can't really trust the people to elect the right kind of people. I mean, I'm thinking of like Italy in particular, but like all of this kind of, we don't have that because we never had a situation where the president is the threat to the country. Even when we've had other really shit presidents. Like really shit presidents. Yeah. They were busy persecuting other people, not their own government. Andrew Jackson didn't try to topple the U.S. government. He used it for bad shit, but he didn't try to destroy it. He wanted it to remain. So DHS, FBI, they pick up all this noise. They realize that there's a problem, and they are completely stuck. They can't do a damn thing.
I find that even the buildup, and something that didn't even hit me, I tell you about the story on the 12th when I was walking, me and my child, we were in Union Station, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? Why are all these people out here with no mask on? Like, DC, usually people are like regularly wear masks. I'm like, this is insane. And I come out of Union Station, I look up towards the Supreme Court, and I just see so many people, and I'm like, oh, okay. This is something, let me get the hell out of here. But even then, it didn't necessarily click. It's like, all right.
No, because I treated the rally on the 12th as like a joke.
Yeah, it wasn't.
And I was like, I dare these guys to come here and see what happens. And they came, and they were idiots, and they drank White Claw at the Harrington and, like, you know, went carousing around the city looking for fights and got their asses kicked and then got into fights with each other. You know, that's the thing I took from the trial runs at this was that, okay, these guys are angry and stupid but they're volatile and they're sort of parochial in their own interests, and that when they get near each other, this guy's conspiracy doesn't exactly match that guy's conspiracy, and they're so completely devoted to their own conspiracy that they throw hands over the dumbest fucking thing. It's JFK Jr.'s coming back. No, it's JFK Sr. That's it. Like, that's what I and we witnessed that, right? We saw the Proud Boys beating each other up. I mean, it was fine. I thought it was funny. I was happy to watch the cops mason some of them. And then No,
it wasn't. And then I think even just as they get closer to the date, another one, the U.S. Capitol Police and their unpreparedness is just insane. They said that the shields and the helmets was locked away.
They locked them away. Quote, January 6th will be the MPD's problem, one federal law enforcement official said in December, referring to the D.C. police and echoing an oft-repeated and widely held belief within the FBI at the time. Now, I want to point out to the people who aren't from here how close to what happened the FBI's building is downtown. Yeah. It's a couple blocks.
They had to walk past it.
They had to walk past it on Pennsylvania Avenue
in order to get from the Ellipse and the monument. That's right.
So if you walk from the White House to the Capitol along Pennsylvania Avenue, which is the route that they took, you walk directly in front of the FBI's building.
What do they call this style of it? Brutalism?
It's brutalist.
Brutalism. That's the perfect name for it.
It is.
Which is not why it's named that, by the way. But yes, it's just so fitting. The federal government brutalist style. Yeah, that's right.
Sorry.
So the 3%ers, the Oath Keepers, all of these guys who are actually law enforcement, actually sworn office holders. A number of them, it turns out, ran for and won elected office in Virginia just this week. Were at this rally.
Some of them were already elected.
Yes, right.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, some of them were serving members in the House of Delegates, went to try to topple the government, and then won re-election in... Do they not think government is? I don't know what they like. I'm a delegate. And I'm like, I thought you hate the government. I do, but except when they pay me or whatever. Like, what the fuck is that?
I mean, you don't hate the government when you are the government, but you have to tell everybody you hate the government.
Yeah. They like, the government sucks. Vote for me.
I hate the government so much. I need you to put me in there to
stop. There it is.
Yeah, to unmake it.
How do they have? They said this
so much for being pro-life.
Yeah, well,
we know that.
We know that. Yeah, ask any Iraqi.
They said that the riot shields being in hot trailers from the summer protests.
Even.
But they're saying the actual gear for the Capitol.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense to me that you leave them in the trailer. It just seems like basic government oversight at that point, where it's like, hey, maybe we should take these out of the trailer. They've been in here for a while. Oh no, we took them out. They're all cracking, and we've got to
the difference is you can see the way that they were able to marshal gear and personnel and everything to run people out of the park for singing so that he could take a picture next to a church versus
upside down Bible.
Yeah, the ability to marshal those same resources to protect the very republic for which it stands. That is very, very confusing until you realize who the resources and the people belong to. That when attempted Mussolini here wants to go take a picture, he's got the executive branch security services at his disposal. And when those same professionals within the security services realize that they are looking at a potential coup orchestrated by the head of government, they cannot marshal those same resources without, in fact, tipping off that head of government. And what do you do at that point? It is so completely befuddling in our constitutional system that we don't have a mechanism for this. What exactly happens if the Capitol Police are enforcing a warrant issued by a subpoena issued by Congress, lawfully executed and held up and supported by the Executive Branch Department of Justice, and they go to try to grab, let's say, Trump himself, and the Secret Service, whose job it is to continue to protect him at our expense, goes, hey, wait a minute, y'all can't have him. What happens there?
Yeah, there's nothing on paper that dictates what happens there.
And do we go to court again? I mean, what is, and...
I mean, of course, that's the...
But see, the thing is that what the Trump people taught us was that you can go to court, you can get the order, and they can just go, fuck you, we're not going to do it.
Yep.
From the very beginning.
The stuff is written down on paper, and it's like, all right, for a long time, most folks followed what happened.
Even Nixon.
Right? For the most part. And then someone's just like, No, I'm just not going to do it.
The courts ruled in the case at Dulles, I was there, that the lawyers had the right to go talk to their clients that the Customs and Border Patrol were holding behind the line. And they've got this court order in their hand, and they go, hey, we want to go talk to our clients. And they go, no. And they go, what are you talking about? No, we've got a court order. And they go, make me. And you're like, well, make who? What's going to happen here? Is the U.S. Marshals going to come and point guns at the Border Patrol? How does this get adjudicated? We don't. This isn't how this works. And over from that initial instance on, every time that the courts told the Trump administration that they had to stop doing something or that they had to do something, they just said, no, make me.
And this is why early on, as he started to erode some of these things, you can't just be like, all right, well, whatever, and like almost become numb to it, because you get to this end point where it's like,
but that was the goal.
Yeah, it is. You just kind of
that is exactly the goal. Away at it, that we now are becoming like the Russians. That we just this fatalist nihilism. You know, we don't even care. It's all probably bullshit anyway. They're all lying.
Can't get there. Yeah. I know, and I get why, folks. It's very understandable how someone can get there.
It is,
but it's just like, nah, you got to kind of hold on, because the thing is if you don't believe in it, then this shit is it.
But it's when people say all politicians are liars, and you go, okay, that's not the level that we're talking about here. This is a very different thing. They're all corrupt. Yeah, sure, they're all corrupt, whatever. Not this kind of thing. And what we saw on January 6th, what we saw from the lead up to January 6th, is that there was a concerted, well-funded, well-organized, quasi-legal effort. You know, they've got these lawyers working on the legal boundaries with which they could try to fight this fight if they were able to get it into court, if they were able to convince Mike Pence.
That's what it came down to.
That they obviously were leaning on Pence in this insane way, threatening him, calling him all these names, saying that, what was it, Eastman blamed the actual riot on Pence.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Yep.
He told Pence indirectly, this siege is your fault. He called it a siege. Siege is act of war. What siege are we? Who lays siege to things?
But
what is this? Medieval times?
But that is what the supporters of this felt they were in. They felt that,
and for a lot of them, it wasn't just a siege; it was a holy siege.
Right, right. True, they believed that they were fighting a jihad of sorts. I'm sure they love to hear that. That they were compelled by their beliefs, compelled by God, and I don't doubt the sincerity of most of these people.
Because to do that,
you've got to believe. You got to be true
believe. I don't think you
absolutely.
As wild as some folks are, I don't think you just wake up and like they're meeting at places up and down.
And they're ginning each other up. Oh, you ready to go? You know,
most
save
people
the
meet
world?
Up that early, like to go to the casino or something like that.
Yeah. But no, they're like, yo, we're gonna save the country. They really believe that. I know what that feels like because I felt like that a little bit. You know, when like Dulles, here's the example. We're going out to Dulles and we're going to go do this thing. And I felt like, you know, if enough of us are there, they're going to have to listen to it. You know, I felt that. I know what that feels like.
Folks might have even felt that like after Trump initially won, or even like the women's march and stuff.
Yeah,
but no one
did what it felt like.
No one did that.
Or the gun rights, the gun march after the Florida shooting. We felt like we were doing stuff.
But I don't think anybody, I don't think the anger didn't, it was organized, right? But the anger wasn't organized to a point where people were like, all right, let's just overthrow all of this stuff.
It wasn't putting elected officials' safety at risk.
Right, and it can't be that.
Well, and the thing is that the elected officials who were throwing gas on that fire were the very ones in peril. And like, yeah, the rabble believed in this stuff. But do you think for a minute that Cruz or Hawley believes this stuff?
I don't know anymore.
They can't. No,
I mean, I think Gosar does for sure because he's an idiot.
It's a power grab.
He's a dentist, of course.
Yeah, right. But like,
no, they see power and how you have to hold on to it.
I think Margie believes this stuff.
Yeah,
because I think she's just an idiot and crazy. But I don't think that you know, Kennedy or Cruz or any of these guys, they don't believe this stuff.
And I mean, all of this shit is going to come out when the waves are crashing over us, and
Rick Scott. You think Rick Scott believes any of this shit?
No,
he knows better. You don't think so?
I don't think he believes it, but I don't know if he knows better.
I mean, he knows that the votes aren't rigged, right? Because he won. Yeah. So how is it rigged? Same ballot.
He won in a wave year.
Yeah. So how is that different? With Dominion voting machines, no less.
But I mean,
with a large Venezuelan population in Florida, like what are we talking about here?
I don't know. Again, if people, they want to hold on to power. They know that there's one way that you're able to do that, and people believe. I mean, again, they believe in this stuff.
That crowd thing is real too, because if you're in a crowd and you'll feel like you're all justified in what you're doing, and you're down there doing it,
Lord,
you're just waiting for somebody to look at you wrong,
and it's over.
And you're feeling the strength because everybody around you's feeling it too, and you're all looking around like, I wish one of these motherfuckers would, and then you're just like, let's do it,
And there it is, and then the snowball goes down the hill, and
I was ready. I mean, a number of times through the Trump administration, when I was at these protests and in these groups and things, I was like, yeah, I'm looking around like, who's going to back me up? Like, we'll whoop some ass. We're ready to go. And then, of course, what did we do? We sang. We chanted. We marched around.
Some people smoked weed.
Some people.
We complimented each other on our funny signs.
But you know what it is, though? There are people that are organizing those rallies that when they feel the pressure and the heat turning up,
they turn it down.
Someone turns it down.
Yes.
There's at least from what I've seen, there's always
that shaved head kid that came out and she told us all to we got to fight, and we're all like, yeah, let's go, and then she was like, not that much. We were like, all right, cool, got it.
But
but again, it's this paramilitary mindset that these people have. You combine that with the religious, the righteousness that they feel about the whole
sort
thing.
Of zealotry thing.
No, it was bound to be this way.
Right. This was predicted. This was foretold. We're fulfilling the prophecies.
Yeah.
I don't know. After reading a report like that, don't you feel like this isn't obviously at the end of this, as you said, right? We're just going to continue to find out more. I think
this just continues, and I don't.
But where is it? It comes to a head. I don't know. It doesn't just keep moving like this.
I think we eventually devolve into a country like, say, Pakistan, where nobody trusts the elected officials. Everybody is worried about a conspiracy, and they're only interested in protecting themselves and the people who are like them. And it just becomes this factional wasteland with no cohesive anything, and there'll be nothing to hold us together. I mean, look at the Kansas City Chiefs right now are breathing a sigh of relief that Aaron got himself COVID because he was lying about his vaccination status. That in and of itself is a sports story that becomes an identity, a religion, and a politics story instantly. And the thing that we want to look to hold us together, football, doesn't. Because now all of a sudden, well, I'm using that as an example, but there's no safe anything.
There isn't, no.
People are vetting what records they buy by the politics of the singer. And and we're shunting ourselves into these silos that are deeper than we could ever possibly imagine. I was driving my kid to school today, and this guy in this big, giant, obviously Toyota truck, because he loves America.
Oh, yeah.
Rolls up, and he's got all of these 3%er signs on in the back, and the Punisher stickers and all.
It's always the Punisher.
Yeah, and it's like, don't tread on me plates, and and he's kind of like driving a little aggressive. I'm like, I think some shit's about to go down. I looked at my kid. I was like, you ready? And she was like, I'm 3. I was like, but I think we're about to throw hands. Here's a chopstick. She was ready. But that's a thing. Now I'm driving around. I stopped at 7 on the way up here. These 3 white guys with their hats turned backwards, as I'm a white guy with my hat turned backwards right now, are in the 7. One of them had like a fashy haircut. I'm like, oh shit. All right, some shit's about to go down.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure that the battery's in their back in Virginia right now.
Yeah. And I live in it.
Woo! And
these idiots all identify themselves.
Just when our group chats, we were just getting better with Virginia. I was like, Virginia, switching.
That was uncalled for.
I know, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we have to go home to that.
Sorry.
You're safely in Bowser land. She'll protect you
She's
with
mayor
some,
for life.
yeah, with some street paint.
Right, I know.
She'll paint Black Lives Matter around the whole city and keep them out.
It's hard to be in Bowser Land when you're Mario.
Oh, that's a great joke. that is a fantastic.
I love that it's with both sides of that right there. I love it. There it is. I love it.
I've been waiting for somebody to bring Koopa as a challenge to Bowser. It's so perfect.
It is. It's Robert Wet.
Yeah, it's like it's obvious to all of us, right? And she's our generation, so she should know it's gonna work. Definitely gonna work.
Absolutely.
Treyon, get on it.
Just having fun.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Right before I get myself in trouble.
You want to take a break?
Right. Yeah. We can take a break.
Let's take a break.
We'll talk for a while.
We're gonna go look and see if Toad is in the other castle because the princess we're looking for is unfortunately not here. You're listening to Chip Chat on Rip Radio Network.
Sweeps.
And it tastes just like Coca-Cola. Sing it, C-O-L-A, Cola. She walked up to me and she asked me to dance. I asked her name and a background voice. She said, Lola. L-O-L-A, come on, she said Lola. La 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 Lola. Most physical guy, the way she squeezed me tight, she nearly broke my spine. Oh my Lola, la 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 Lola. Well, I'm not dumb, but I can't understand why she walked like a punk and talks like a man. Oh my Lola, la 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 Lola, la 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 Lola. Drank champagne and danced all night under electric candlelight. She picked me up and sent me harmony and said, little boy, won't you come on me? Well, I'm not the world's most passionate guy, but when I looked in her eyes, well, I almost fell for my Lola. La 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 Lola. La 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 Lola. Girls will be boys and boys will be girls. It's a mixed up, muddled up, shook up world except for Lola. La 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 Lola. Well, I left home just a week before, and I never ever kissed a pumpkin before. But Lola smiled and took me by the hand and said that I love her.
All right, welcome back to Chip Chat here on Rip Radio Network. I'm your host, Chip. With me is Tez.
What's Fabio?
And Charlie is joining us tonight.
Howdy.
That was me murdering the Kinks song Lola. I was trying my best. I was
You
singing,
were
singing
singing
to
your
a
heart out.
pumpkin.
I saw the pumpkin.
I do love that
horrible
song.
way to refer to your wife. She's a wonderful woman.
Yes, but she, like most of the people I know, doesn't listen to this show. But I was singing to a pumpkin that was named Lola, who I think won the pumpkin contest.
Oh,
they had like a pumpkin contest. No, I did not win the karaoke.
No, I thought the pumpkin did.
The pumpkin won.
That's what.
That's right. All right. That was at the Rippy's announcement show, by the way, where it was announced that we were nominated
For
that's
big.
Best duo.
Yeah,
and,
let's see.
and best show.
I wonder who will present us if there's no way we
well,
there's no way we win. The only way if someone takes us off the stage,
we don't have to
better not be Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway.
That's right. Yeah. Well, they can't read. So what we're gonna do is
show sometimes
we're gonna write who presents what, so we can choose who's gonna give us our award. Essentially,
perfect.
We'll get the Cyber Ninjas to help us rig it. It'll be good.
Award show purists are furious.
There's one of those in this room, and nobody cares.
Yes.
So let's, now we've come to the part of the show. It's called The Rundown, where we'll tell you about some stuff that's gone on in the news. Texas is back, and we're talking about college football, the greatest thing on the planet. So the University of Texas has struggled in recent years to be good at football, and they're really want to be relevant because they're carrying an entire conference with them that is dissolving in front of them, like mid-season. It's pretty funny. So they hired this new special teams coach, and he has an interesting wife, I guess, partner. Her name is Pole Assassin. She is a... Jeff Banks is a special teams coordinator for University of Texas. His wife's name is Pole Assassin. I think her actual name might be Danielle Banks. Danielle Thomas. There you go. She's famous, too, because she's been on the Jerry Springer Show doing her pole act, and she uses in her act a monkey, which you can see on the video if you're watching.
And if you're not watching, think of the monkey in the GIF that pushes the computer off of the... Yeah, it's that one.
Or the monkey from Outbreak.
There you go. Oh, God.
It's a capuchin, I think, is the name of it.
There you go.
You don't trust monkeys, man. Monkeys are fucking crazy.
Well, they see and do. So, you know. All right, so the drama started Monday night when Texas sports photographer and former USA Today stringer Tom Campbell tweeted a report alleging that the family's monkey had attacked a child at their home on Sunday night. Pole Assassin herself, Danielle Thomas, tweeted back, was like, no, that's not what happened. Here's her direct tweet. I'm going to read it word for word. I'm going to preface this by saying I think English is not her first language, but I'm giving her a break and hoping that that's the case, because otherwise,
reckless speculation, but you know.
Yeah. I had a haunted house on one side gated off. He had no permission to go past, like to throw a pass, past the gate. I had no idea he went in my backyard, period. Neither did I know anything about a bite, ! Until a doctor of neighborhood told me the treat, a small bite. No parent have contacted me about it, !
Me fail English? That's impossible.
Right. One of my favorite quotes. The question from Twitter was, is the monkey vaccinated? This could be serious. Yes, she has had all her shot. She emotional support animal who not to be touched, comma.
Did you ever see Always Sunny in Philadelphia whenever they read Charlie's writings because Charlie's illiterate? And it's just total word
gobbledygook. Yes. She speak by command of hi, 5. Hi like hello. 5, ! No one is allowed to touch her, ! Unless I myself say it, okay, it! ! So in her version of the story, they had a party. The monkey was off to the side in another area. The kid wandered into the other area and engaged with the monkey, who may or may not have been in a cage with a sign on it that said, don't mess with the monkey. But the kid, of course, probably reads about as well as Pole Assassin does and couldn't understand the sign and just was like, hey, it's a monkey.
Right. And this is why you don't have monkeys.
The monkey did, in fact, bite a kid. There's some speculation about whether anybody had to pry the monkey off the kid or not.
I think usually probably when these primates bite people, but you might have to pry open the monkey.
It's not a good look, and it proves once again how much Texas is, in fact, not back.
Yeah.
Way to go, Texas. Yeah, horns down. They love that one. The other quick thing that we want to tell you about is that a California man named Dylan figured out that he could buy a year pass to Six Flags Magic Mountain and eat for 50 cents a day. Basically, the year pass gets you 2 meals, like a day, and it's $150. And he lived really close to this place, so he had free parking with his year pass. So he would spend his $150, and he would eat there 2 meals a day every day for $150. And he was able to save enough money to pay off his student loans.
I thought that was what it is. Yeah,
apparently, get married and buy a house. The choices about what he had to eat, though, is pretty limited. He had hot dog, chicken fingers, burger, and pizza.
So, yeah, well, he's able to afford all that, and that's great because now he's probably also a diabetic, so, you know.
Right, so there's the question, did he save any money, or has this done so much long-term damage to him that his medical bills will outpace whatever he saved?
We'll see.
I heard that.
Thoughts and prayers?
I heard this, right, exactly. I heard this story on Wait, Don't Tell Me.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, I was like, of course it's this. You know why? Because only in America is this how someone can afford to get married to be able to go ahead and afford to get their student loans off.
Repay their student loans.
And they have to go have a Six Flags pass to eat.
It proves
only here.
It proves that Dan Snyder was right to get out of Six Flags before everybody figured this out and bled them dry. Oh, Dan Snyder, genius.
His Six Flags probably didn't have this pass.
No, it did.
It did? You think
Wild
so?
World did? Yeah, absolutely. It was a national
After
thing.
he turned people upside down and shook them till all their money
That's
came
right.
out.
Yeah, well. And that's on him, not on the whole trial.
Oh, look at that, right?
Him.
He's got
to be clear about that. We're making fun of Dan, not all of us. He's a cheap son of a bitch. We'll leave it.
Every culture has cheap
sons of bitches. That's right.
What it is. That's the lesson.
Exactly.
Walking Jewish stereotype.
So am I in a lot of ways.
Yeah, but he's not helping.
That's true. I'm not sure I am either. Okay. Speaking of not helping, Charlie's here. Charlie is here because he is nominally an expert on various things, but in this case, Democratic politics in the great Commonwealth of Virginia. Is that more or less a fair way to say it?
I would say that's accurate.
You have various credentials which you may or may not want to divulge.
I've followed politics there since the first race I ever followed was the Virginia Senate race in 1994 when I was 8 years old because I had never seen a celebrity that had the same first name as me.
Okay.
That was Chuck Robb.
Right,
so,
yeah, Chuck Robb.
So I've been following.
He lost, by the way.
No, 94 he won.
Oh, 94 he
won. That
won.
was the Oliver North race.
Yeah, right. He beat Ollie North.
Yeah, then lost to George Allen 6
That's
years
right.
later. But yeah, so I've been...
the worst of the Allens until Bruce.
I was going to say.
Just saying. All right.
And yeah, and then I've been a member of Virginia Young Democrats. I will be aging out in July, actually.
Yeah, I was going to say. They're kicking you out, right?
Yeah, it's bumming me out, man.
Ageism, man.
I know.
Yeah, I know. He can't be a young Democrat. Look at his hair. You think there's a lot of old people with blue hair?
How do you do, fellow young people?
Yeah. Yes. I am human Bill Cosby or whatever. Right.
I am human Bill Cosby.
Yes. That one aged well.
Yeah, I know.
Great joke, South Park.
But yeah, so I served in sevevel positions. I was campaign director 2013 when Terry ran last time, and 2014. And yeah, I've been in various positions. Was co-president of my college Democrats at George Mason University. Yeah.
So unlike me, who is a raving lunatic about this, you actually know stuff.
I'm still a raving lunatic, but
yeah,
I
but
think
you
I have
often
a bit,
correct me when I'm
more. I have
way
a bit
off.
more like solid, like
credibility.
Credibility.
Yes.
Yes.
And your tone as well too, because Chip he's when he gets upset about it, he's gone.
Yeah, I'm way off.
Yeah, no, it's like I'm like, dude, you relax, smoke this.
Yeah, Charlie has spent years trying to get me to stick to truth. It's very difficult.
Oh, there's a lot of problems.
Yeah. Okay, so what happened on Tuesday here in the Commonwealth?
All right, so I have my little summary.
Your manifesto.
Yes, my manifesto. That's exactly what I was calling it.
Yes.
I was like, you'll probably be able to read my manifestos the next day, depending on what happens. So we all got to start back at the primary. So Terry McAuliffe decides he's going to run for governor again because Virginia has this ridiculous rule where a governor cannot serve consecutive terms.
Which I think this is why he lost this time. I mean, like, the consecutive thing, if Northam could have run again, he would have won, for sure.
I don't know. His approval rating was a little down, and if he had the same mindset as Terry, he may have gotten caught off guard.
Possible. But he's a doctor.
But the thing about to remember about this is that this is all about Terry's ego.
Yeah.
He was probably trying to set himself up for either a run for Senate or a run for president. He was rumored to be a candidate. He was exploring the possibility of being a candidate for president
back
for
to last go around,
ended up deciding not to do it, thank God. But this goes to a story about, this touches on one of the main problems. It's not just Terry, it's those who enabled him that told us that he was the best. That told us that he was the best candidate in the field. This probably kept more promising candidates out from the race for the Democratic nomination. And the sad thing about this is that when Terry ran in 2013, we didn't have a bench. We didn't have anybody.
We had nobody.
So Terry, understandable that he ran unopposed for the nomination.
Sure.
Because of the elections of 2017 and 2019, we have a bench.
A deep bench.
A deep bench of people to draw
of women
from.
of color, no less.
Women of color, yes. And so that is what made this truly...
All of them named Jennifer for whatever reason.
No, it's exactly right.
Well, I don't know how that happened, but they're all named Jen.
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous.
It's a winning formula.
Yeah,
so
right.
We have all
you
these
love a
people,
Jennifer. Who doesn't love a Jennifer?
We have all these people.
Charlie does not love a Jennifer.
Well, that's because I'm gay, so
right.
Why would I? I mean, so...
Fair.
Just saying.
So one of the big backers of this, which is the crazy thing about this, was that it was the elder members of the Black Caucus in Virginia
who loved Terry.
They got behind him over two well-qualified black women, Jennifer Carroll Foy, a delegate from Prince William County in Stafford, and State Senator Jennifer McClellan from Richmond, who is the person I supported.
I wasn't making that up. They're all Jen.
Yes. And even though Terry decided to run, there were 4 other candidates in that field.
And I was like seconds away from pulling the lever for Carol Foy, by the way.
That's
I think you talked me nearly into like McClellan, but then I was like, no.
Yeah, I mean, so the other problem is that his primary opponents never went after him on legitimate criticisms that would be good to bring up if you're trying to take down.
Yeah, but they didn't want to upset the caucus, right?
And this is what's infuriating. Here's some of the things they could have talked about. His closeness with Dominion power, because that's now Dominion
issue in Virginia
is a liability. Which, I mean, holy crap, who would have ever thought that? Coziness with Amazon, support for pipelines, being deferential towards police, his handling of the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville in 2017. Right. And his attempt to profit off of it with the book during the presidential speculation period.
Sure.
So there's all that. But then this is the thing that I kept on bringing up to people. His past electoral record. In 2013, there were unbelievable favorable circumstances for the Democrats in Virginia. The incumbent governor, Bob McDonnell, was under investigation for corruption.
And his wife.
Yeah, that's right.
And his chef.
The government shut down over Obamacare funding.
That's right.
That pissed off a lot of contractors in Northern Virginia.
And we had a lot of Medicaid expansion, push there. And
he had a large number of Republican supporters, of Republican elected officials endorsing him.
Yeah, these were the sort of keep the trains running on time kind of guys.
Yeah, because, and this is the fourth thing, his opponent was Ken Cuccinelli, who was a rabid right-wing culture warrior.
Yeah. Right.
So, this is... Even with all those circumstances, Terry still only won by 2.6 points, which is actually almost identical to his losing margin.
But it's also notable that he is like the exception in the president Virginia governor flip-flop.
Yeah.
So that's at least something.
Yes.
But he beat Cooch, and anybody can beat him.
Well, I mean, he almost did it.
Yeah, I was going to say, based on what you said there,
0.6%.
That's not a huge...
And he didn't have coattails. It was a net gain of 1 seat in the House of Delegates. They went from 33 to 34.
He had Herring. He brought Herring along.
Herring
is fantastic.
Herring was all right, but, I mean, he's great as Attorney General, but, he's all right as a candidate. So, even in the midterm year, 2015,
and he brought
Dr. Ralph. I think Ralph had that on his own because he had E.W. Jackson as an opponent.
Right.
and even in the midterm year of 2015, he still wasn't able to really make any.
He made no gains.
Staying stagnant. But he wins the primary with 60% of the vote. And now this brings us to the general election, and there is one word that needs to be said whenever talking about Terry McAuliffe's 2021 campaign. Lazy. Lazy, lazy, lazy. The man who famously would say, "I'll sleep when I'm dead," was asleep at the fucking wheel. There was no talk about his record as governor after the primary. He kept on talking about all the stuff he did as governor in the primary, but after June 8th, he never talked about it.
None of the ads were like, "Hey, remember I was a great governor."
I wouldn't blame you if you, from watching the TV advertisements, that if you didn't know that he had been governor before.
Right.
It was just so. I was like, "What the fuck?"
I thought that was an obvious thing too, because he was, when
he left office, relatively popular.
When Terry ran and won in 2013, everybody was like, "All right, well, he's a Dem. We'll see what he does." But then it turned out he governed really well.
Yeah.
Like, he did a really good job.
He was dealing with the Republican legislature.
Yeah.
So a lot of that was just vetoing.
Yeah, but he managed. He
did well.
And I mean, if you wanted to, get the base going, that's the thing I would have thought you would have highlighted. No?
Yeah. So he decides his strategy is going to be to nationalize the race. He exhaustingly is airing all these ads trying to link Youngkin to Trump nonstop for 5 months. It was exhausting.
Trumpkin.
And that's all that I remember from it. And also, too, it seems like they kept Trump out of this race. Like, it seems Youngkin...
Well, Youngkin defeated it.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
It didn't seem like...
I believed in Terry's strategy, too, of tying Youngkin to Trump because, I'm convinced that that's the thing. If you can turn, but the Republicans ran Youngkin for a reason. They learned from Cuccinelli and Stewart.
No, it's not just that. It's not just that, because Youngkin does have very deep ties with the evangelical Christians.
Sure, he's got his own church. He's got a fake church.
So, but here's the problem.
A fake radio show.
I was about to have a fake church until my wife stopped me.
Okay?
Oh, sorry.
Listen,
forgot whose show this was.
But the thing is that if it was part of a multi-tier strategy.
Sure.
Here's what I did as governor. Here's what the other guy is. We just went through this. If it was part of a multi-tier strategy, that would be one thing. But it wasn't. It was just tie him to Trump, tie him to Trump. There was also no strategy for easily foreseeable challenges such as critical race theory, which also stems with, defund the police and everything. Taxes, which come on, they're always going to try to attack.
That's literally
the basic one there.
Crime and the pandemic effects on school, which also I think ties in with critical race theory because I think everybody was exhausted after COVID,
huge.
which is completely understandable.
Get it?
He neglected his record as governor despite relatively popularity, and it came up. And here's the thing that really, 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 really pisses me off. It came because he nationalized the race, it came at the expense of highlighting Democratic accomplishments of the state over the past 4 years under Northam, and then for the last 2 years under the Democratic legislature.
Sure.
So, and here's this, imagine, it's not perfect.
Medicaid expansion, gun control.
Right here.
Okay.
So, Medicaid expansion.
Woohoo!
Several gun control measures,
Fantastic.
including red flag laws, the return of 1 gun a month, restrictions on purchases by domestic abusers, and expanded background checks. Loosening of abortion restrictions, including repeal of the ultrasound law, the 24-hour waiting period, and the trap laws that targeted the facilities.
Right.
Allowed advanced practice nurses to perform procedures, allowed at-home allowed the administration of the at-home abortion medication through telemedicine, and covered under state insurance.
And expanded contraceptive care and a couple other things.
Voting rights, actual early voting, because we didn't have that in Virginia. We had in-person absentee. You had to give a reason.
Right.
Now you can just go and vote early. Ballot drop boxes, repeal of mandatory photo ID, stricter review of local elections provisions, and allowing ranked choice voting in local elections. limitations on state carbon emissions, minimum wage increase to $12 an hour, banning of no-knock warrants, rights for the undocumented, including driver's privilege cards, in-state tuition, and financial assistance, LGBT rights, including sexual orientation and gender identity now being protected classes in the Commonwealth, banning discrimination in housing, employment, and public accommodation, and banning conversion therapy, legalizing marijuana and putting a path for dispensaries, and the biggest one that I still cannot believe happened, they repealed the death penalty.
Right. It's damn near Reconstruction for Virginia.
It is unbelievable.
That is, I mean, it's not perfect. There's
right,
still a lot of stuff to do,
yeah.
but you could
That's
say,
huge.
and especially like you could draw that to the contrast of the National Party, saying, "Hey, National Party's fucked up, but we in Virginia,
we got some shit
know
done.
what we're doing.
Yeah,
we have delivered results for you, and never talked about it." Never talked about it. And so here's
the
thing.
death penalty thing's huge.
Oh, God, yeah, because at one point Virginia was second to Texas.
Right.
We actually are the number one. We've killed more people than anybody.
Really?
Virginia, yes, including Texas because we've been a state longer. But, remember when Timmy was governor? And this was this hard thing that Timmy's a Catholic. He's really...
He takes his. He's very serious.
He's really serious about this, and they're like, "What are you going to do about all these? You got like 15 people on death row."
Remember the commercial with the guy that said he wouldn't have executed Hitler?
Yeah,
yeah,
right. But Timmy was like, "Look, if it's decided, it's decided. I'm just going to let it go. I'm not going to touch it." But like, that's who breathed the sigh of relief when that happened. I specifically voted in the primary for Fairfax County Commonwealth's attorney based on the difference of would you seek the death penalty or would you not seek the death penalty?
It's interesting you bring that up because just about an hour or two ago, Jason Miyares, the Attorney General-elect of the state of Virginia,
said he wanted to reinstate the death penalty.
It's not that he wanted to reinstate. He wants to work with the legislature to pass guidelines that would give the Attorney General power to discipline Commonwealth's attorneys that are not
seeking the death,
or it's not even not seeking the death for not doing their jobs right.
Oh, it's like that repeal Discano bullshit.
Yes,
okay,
yes,
cool.
No, that's it. And he specifically cited Northern Virginia.
Of course he did.
So yeah. So what are the consequences of
the party of life loves the death penalty?
Absolutely. So what's the consequences of all this? We lost all 3 statewide races. The AG's office will now defer to whatever the mindset of the Federalist Society is, apparently.
Sure.
We lost control of the House of Delegates, went from a +5 Democratic majority to +2 GOP. There were 2 races that looked like the Democrats were ahead, including very, very good LaSharice Aird. I adore her down in Petersburg. It looked like they were up, and then but it turned out that there were reporting errors, which happened. We know it's not a conspiracy. That shit happens because it's managed by people.
Yeah,
we understand
human
that.
beings, right?
Yeah, we understand that.
Call the cyber ninjas.
Exactly. We're not pulling this shit.
Got to go to Montana and get a cabin.
And then so it turns out, so at least at first, at the end of Tuesday night, we thought it was going to be a tie House of Delegates.
Right.
50-50, which, what the fuck would that even be? But now it's going to be outright GOP control. And now, because of that, we have legislation that won't move, including a constitutional amendment to automatically restore voting rights to felons who completed their sentences. Virginia has a weird thing with their constitutional amendments. It has to pass 2 consecutive sessions of the state legislature, and then it's put to a vote.
I actually think that's a pretty good thing because it's a consensus sort of thing.
Because it comes back up again.
That's right. After an election, there's an election in between.
But it's after. But and the thing about it is that it's not like impossible. It's very possible to do.
Sure.
Yeah, it's not like amending the U.S. Constitution, which is fucking impossible.
Right.
But so that was, they had passed it the past session. They were going to bring it up for a vote. Now it's just going to get tabled and die in committee. Of course. They were also going to pursue same-day voter registration and the possible because I don't know if this is actually enshrined in law, but enshrined Roe in Roe v. Wade.
They were going to do that, but they now
the state constitution. And the other thing that I'm wondering is, because of this screwed up way that they're doing the dispensaries, the marijuana dispensaries, we're not getting those until 2024. Is Youngkin...
Is that going to be on the chopping block?
Is that going to be on the chopping block? Is he going to find some way to fuck it over? I don't know. And this is the thing. So
administrative review.
State Senate of Virginia is still controlled by Democrats. 21 to 19. 21 to 19, outright majority.
Technically.
No, it's an outright.
There's
majority.
that one guy that always votes with them.
You're fucking preempting me, man.
Oh, sorry.
God damn it, man. Come on, man. I cannot imagine what sex with you is like. I mean, it just must be.
You've been trying for years. Trying to imagine it now.
I gave up.
Now you've seen the top of my head.
That was the evidence that conversion therapy doesn't work.
There you go.
But, but
so much phrasing in that last one that I was going to go.
Are we not doing phrasing anymore?
Pause.
No, you people took it for granted.
You people.
So the majority is 21-19 there. The problem is that with the crazy shit that's going to come to the House of Delegates, it only takes one defection needed on the legislation, and then Winsome Sears, better known as the woman with the assault rifle while wearing her Sunday best,
blood clot.
I know.
Jesus Christ. It was on my questions.
Yep.
I
really want that to be her official portrait. I really want that to be her official portrait. I will be like, you know what, you're crazy, but I respect that.
I can't tell my grandmother about this woman.
Yeah, can we get a ruling on this?
Jesus.
She get to come to the cookout, or what are we doing here?
Look, I would assume by this picture that her rice and pea is dry.
Yeah.
That's what I would assume by this picture. And I'm pretty sure the rest of stamp, that's what I would assume from that.
Yeah.
So now there are two people in the state Senate that were going to hold a lot of power in what gets passed in that chamber. And they could potentially help the GOP agenda on things like abortion access, if they bring up religious liberty laws, vaccine requirements, and education standards. The first one is Senator Joe Morrissey, represents a district in Lee.
Fighting Joe
Morrissey.
Pull the graphic, Brian.
Yeah, are we? Which thing are we going? Which picture are we going with? Okay, yes, this is his official.
That's
portrait.
it. Yeah.
So that's
Fighting Joe.
It's a former delegate from Richmond. Got into quite a bit of
convicted
trouble.
felon.
It was revealed that a receptionist at his campaign,
Myra.
Myra Pride, I think her name is.
Yeah.
He had a relationship with her, and people found out about it because she got pregnant.
Show the other picture, Brian. There she is.
That the woman is now his wife. Now that's the baby.
Yeah, they've had two more since then.
Yes, they have.
Yeah.
And so
this looked like Virginia, but like Virginia.
Yeah. No, these parties go beyond political things because you'll see Democrats do them as well.
Yeah,
but it's just that is
Virginia.
Fighting Joe one.
I'm about to get to
goes
that.
for it.
Yo, he's gonna do it again.
Man, look, go ahead. I'm getting beer.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
He claimed he never did anything intimate with her until she was 18. Now she's his wife. He was expelled from the House of Delegates because of that and was ordered to jail, ran in a special election as an independent from jail, won, and then had to commute to the House of Delegates.
Wait, hold on. So he ran for this office from jail.
Yes.
But yet they're possibly going to take away voting rights from felons.
Well, he ran.
Actually, that is not something he will do.
Okay, because
he's a defense attorney by trade.
He was a defense attorney.
I was about to say.
And one of the reasons that he was able, so what happened is, he ran for Richmond mayor in 2016. Lost that.
That's right.
But then in 2019, he challenged incumbent Senator Rosalind Dance in a Democratic primary. One of the
She's
reasons,
black.
It is a majority black district based in Petersburg, I believe. And one of the things that you had a lot of people saying is that you had a lot of people voting for him saying, yeah, I mean, the stuff with the relationship is crazy and everything, but, he
got my cousin out of jail.
He got my cousin out of jail. He defended me. And so
hard to fight that.
Nope.
I have a feeling he won't be the one on voting rights.
Got it. Okay.
But he did vote against the Reproductive Health Protection Act.
Because he's Catholic.
I don't know.
It's an Irish thing. No, it's 100%.
So, I mean, he's one we have to worry about. Then the other one is, goddamn, Chap Peterson.
Yep.
Chap Peterson from Fairfax. This
dude is a winner.
Guy,
he's so punchable.
He's a former delegate from Fairfax, was elected to the state senate in the 2007 blue wave where Democrats took back the state senate. He ousted...
He's what they call the blue dog, though,
he ousted former Congressman Tom Davis's wife, Jean Marie Devilites Davis. He's a lifelong Fairfax resident, which makes no sense because he speaks with a ridiculous Southern accent, and I'm convinced it's fake. And, of course, as you can see there, has an affinity for bow ties. During the pandemic, he said that the death of 90-year-olds shouldn't prevent 9-year-olds from going to school. One of the other things he also said, this was the real kicker. This is what he said next.
I don't live in his district. Don't look at me.
You're in Barker.
I'm in trans district. Thank you.
No, I mean state senate.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah.
You're George Barker.
Yeah. Barker.
Who's just useless on that fucking redistricting commission. But
he's harmless, too.
Yeah. So in another thing, at another point when he was talking about, we need to open schools, he said, and I can't believe he fucking said this, he said, say what you will about Jim Crow and segregation, the schools were open.
Well, that's true.
Hey, hold on.
That might be about half the population.
Hold on, that might be the quote of the year.
That was...
He won, though. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I could not believe that when he said. I was like, did he really just say that? And
really, nigga?
And then
a white cat has birds.
And then
can a white man hit that button?
Yeah, come on, white man.
And then he also has. Then he also has issues with allowing more black and brown students to get accepted into Thomas Jefferson School.
Oh, God, he's a part of that?
Yes.
Oh, Lord.
When they were holding hearings about that in the state legislature, he was talking about, because also his wife is Korean, I think. His wife is Korean. And so
there's this whole thing about how TJ has too many Asians in it.
Right,
blah, blah.
70% Asian, I think. It's, and so they were trying to find a way to maybe make the application process more equitable. And there was a hearing about this in the state legislature, and he's like fighting all this. And the chairwoman of the committee is a woman named Louise Lucas. She's one of the greatest, even though she was one of the Terry backers, she is one of the greatest state legislators in Virginia.
She's like
history.
the Katie Porter of Virginia.
Oh, no, she is the queen of I am not taking shit from anybody.
She's a anti-Maxine of
like,
Virginia.
She drives this big fucking Hummer also.
Yeah.
Oh. she's wonderful.
She's really aggressive.
She told off the Republican leader of the state Senate by saying, I don't want to hear anything you have to say in your narrow-ass JCPenney boys department suit that you're wearing.
Oh, I love it. Okay, yeah.
Oh, she is the best. Okay. She's the best.
She can come on the show.
Hey, we gotta bring her, please.
And then she was, while Chap was going on about something, Chap said, in this committee hearing, Chap said, but we're letting in a lot more, but this is letting in a lot more minorities. And she literally went, which minorities are you talking about? Because I know they don't look like me.
Right.
So, these are the two people that are going to, and there's also possibly Linwood Lewis, who represents Eastern Shore, Norfolk.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's that much of a rabble-rouser in that way. All I have to say about this at the end is be wary if in 4 years we have party leaders telling us we got to get behind a Mark Herring bid for governor because he's the one who can win, or bringing back Ralph Northam in 2025.
Oh, God.
Is he going to moonwalk? Like, Herring.
If he does, he has to.
Yeah.
If he does, he has to. That's one of my favorite things. Is when
I hope so.
When that reporter asked him, "Can you still do it?" And he starts looking like,
and
"Do
his
I have
wife
enough
goes,
room?"
"No,
and not appropriate." And he's like, because later that evening in the governor's mansion,
he's like, "I can do it. Look,
he's like, turned Billie Jean on at like 100 volume, and it was like, boom.
She's brushing her teeth, and he's out in the bedroom in his mirror, and then all of a sudden he goes, "Pam, I can still do it." He did that.
Listen, can you moonwalk?
No.
I can. You never lose it. It's like riding a bike.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what we have to learn from Virginia. It's a shitty situation, but that's our next. Well, we do have it's very, who knows what 2 years from now is going to look like.
God gracious, who does?
It's very possible.
We might not have a country by then.
That's very true. It's also possible that the Republicans could really overreach, and Youngkin feeds into that, and there could be a backlash. We'll have to wait and see.
They could stupidly run a primary. I mean, the reason that Youngkin was the candidate was because they learned from Cuccinelli and Stewart and these guys.
It's not necessarily that. Remember, this was done by convention, which is how Cuccinelli became the nominee.
Yeah. But they were like full ideologue Tea Party idiots by then, and they knew they got to find somebody who will do what they want but doesn't look like what they want.
Yeah.
And so that's like standard Republican nonsense.
It's a very simplistic way of looking at it, but yeah, those are factors.
They need a Trumpista that can get elected.
But looking back at the primary, if this is when it starts, like what was Terry selling that people were buying?
That he was governor before.
The name. Well, first of all,
name recognition.
He has the name recognition.
Right.
He is like the ultimate, establishment Democrat.
Didn't that not work? Didn't that not work in 2016?
She's a woman. And that was the thing.
I guess that, yeah.
The calculation. You want to know why Tim Kaine was chosen as the VP?
Right.
Was Terry.
Right. But the calculation, I think, amongst the statewide was, look, we know that Virginia's not ready for a woman. We know Virginia's not ready for a black woman. It's too risky. If we run a black woman, it's going to just rile up the Trumpista base.
The base of the Democratic Party
are black women.
That's why it's confusing for me. That's just the kid. It shouldn't confuse me.
But look at what we're dealing with right now. The white women in the suburbs who switched, the white women in the suburbs who voted for Youngkin did it exclusively because they didn't want their beautiful little blonde children to find out that slavery was bad in school.
But even with that, but the way he won, doesn't it seem like it's a little even more than that?
No.
It's just that, or is it just...
It is all race. It is 100%
but
race.
Is it just
the thing, they thought it would be easy, which is why they were lazy.
Yeah.
Because they thought it would be
Youngkin
easy.
ran on a campaign of schools should have no masks, no vax, and no blacks. And that's the way he ran that campaign. And every time he said education, that's what he meant. And anytime anybody said he ran on education, he wasn't talking about test scores. He wasn't talking about
education. When you actually poll about the actual issues of education, Democrats
win by a mile.
Yeah.
Right. But isn't there a hint of like, all right, with Youngkin, it's like, all right, he's not as bad as Trump, and for Republicans, they can go back and say, all right, well, hey, this isn't what we had
for
a
different kind of Republican.
A different kind.
And I knew this shit was going to happen. He's a
normal.
6th, I was like,
obviously,
he's
right?
a different kind of Republican.
He's a standard Republican. That's the thing. But here's what it is.
He also had more money. He also is the only person that could make Terry McAuliffe look like a fucking peasant.
He got the
because he's
Terry's Carlisle group, right?
Yeah, Terry's worth $30 million in McLean, but he's in fucking Great Falls worth $357 million.
Yeah.
There's also a really good, if you wanted to see, there's a really good piece in Newsweek that just went up today. Talks with one of the people interviewed is Atima Omara, who you might see on MSNBC. Yeah. She is a very good acquaintance of mine. I wouldn't say we're friends, but she's a very good acquaintance. I went down.
She want to come on the show?
I'll ask her.
Do it.
I mean, I went down to Texas in 2013 because she was running for president of Young Democrats of America. She won that. We were very happy for her, and I really adore her. But she was talking about how things just aren't. Calls were not returned. That's a huge problem. And calls are not returned. Yeah, yes, yard signs don't vote, but they showed a measure of enthusiasm.
I'm glad you brought up that yard sign
in the Hampton Roads area who could not find a single Terry sign in Virginia Beach.
I was.
At this point, it's because I can give.
We talked about this briefly, but the yard sign thing is the real deal. Okay, so
and I saw them everywhere.
Going into this campaign, I saw all of these Youngkin signs. And I didn't see
I hate it because it ruins the Netflix logo.
And I didn't see any.
It looks like a Netflix logo.
I didn't see any McAuliffe signs anywhere. And I was getting 3 and 4 and 5 text messages a day. Are you going to vote? Are you going to vote? Are you going to vote? From all these Democratic volunteers and all this stuff. I'm like, yes. It wasn't until I want to say early October that I got a message. Would you like a yard sign? It's fuck yeah, I want a yard sign. Give me 10.
And this is where it ties in.
And then you also had several local committees having to buy their own.
I couldn't find one to buy. I was looking to try to buy them through the campaign and they weren't available.
The only reason why I find that insane, because we were talking, I won't put it out there, but I'm helping someone on a campaign in D.C. and that shows that there's a connection between you and the actual potential voters, right? Because there's a connection. Like, all right, I can even see how that works in this case. Like,
when I finally
someone wants a yard sign, go run it out to them. Who can go get their ass a yard sign as fast as possible?
When I finally got my sign, it was mailed to me from Rhode Island for whatever reason. And like,
hold on.
Yeah,
wait.
It was mailed to me in a package from Rhode Island.
Now everything makes sense of why he lost.
Okay,
yeah,
you know, I live on a cul-de-sac, so like I put it in my front yard. It's like, well, nobody's gonna see this. So I went and took it out, like, you know, to a median and put it out, and it got taken down. You know, probably a day later.
Yeah,
whatever.
You see the Youngkin thing. That's why, as I said, it ruins the Netflix logo for me because it looks so much like.
But the other thing about the yard signs I want to say is that the Youngkin campaign was thinking and paying attention, and they were doing their canvassing, and they were out there because in my neighborhood I saw a substantial number of Youngkin signs early on that had Youngkin equals Trump on them. And they were in Republican houses because they had other like Miara signs or whatever. So they meant that as a good thing. Mm-hmm. And then they disappeared and were replaced with Youngkin for governor signs.
Or parents for Youngkin.
Yeah, whatever.
And that's
because
they knew,
at
that point, right?
Because somebody called them and
crazy.
said, take that shit down.
Yeah, right. Someone's like,
you called me
once the convention was over. Yeah, no, that's what.
It wasn't convention. This was like 3 weeks ago. If you 2 weeks ago, if you had called me and told me to take down a sign in my own goddamn yard, I don't care who you are, I would have told you to go pound sand. That's my yard, and I'm gonna put up whatever I want. These people, they're like, oh shit, we got to do this. All right, that's what it's gonna take. And what did they replace it with? Youngkin for governor and let's go Brandon on a fucking snowman. My neighborhood has Santa Claus chanting "Let's go Brandon" on it, which works for Glenn Youngkin, by the way. I just want to say. So, like, this whole thing is like they were organized, they were coordinated, they meant what they were doing.
Well, of course, every 2 years. And
Terry was lazy.
Every 2 years, there's some. We always run into the efforts of the coordinated campaign of Virginia. And it always feels like it's a bit of a disaster, but this year it was especially a disaster.
Just go out there and knock doors and shake hands, for God's sake. That's what it comes down to.
If you knock on
it's a personal connection.
Well, there's also this weird mindset about the hiring process for strategists in Virginia. For some reason, they don't like hiring Virginia Democrats do not like hiring in-state people. I don't know why, but then you're also hiring
the fucking
people.
Signs are coming from Rhode Island.
I mean, yeah, we're from here, man.
Yeah,
hire us.
Well, also because we have the off-year elections, so we have much more availability
reach.
to cite. Yeah,
sure, okay, but
nationalizing the election was the problem, right? Can we get some
smash mouth campaigning? Can we get people who actually run a goddamn campaign to win?
Remember, the Carlisle group is why she has to re-record all the fucking
that's right. She could have been out there.
Look at this basic ideas.
And here's how bad it is. I fucking hate Taylor Swift.
Okay, I kind of like. That's all
right. Fuck off, you poser.
I like her country records. I didn't like this new stuff.
Just fuck off, poser. But
poser. I bought her first record.
I don't care.
It's good.
But no, come on. Terry's supposed to be the king of that sort of thing. The king of that sort of thing.
There was no organization.
And then he just brings in Stacey Abrams and Farrell and Kamala Harris down in Virginia Beach and Norfolk. Just with 2 weeks to go, with a week to go, and Farrell says at the rally in front of a banner like this, but with Terry for governor on it, saying, "I'm not telling you who to vote for, just vote."
Get out of here.
God, right. wait, hold on. It's not 04. It's not vote or die. Like, hold on, what's going on? You gotta yell.
Oh, I forgot about vote or die.
So
can we that in years?
Can we blame Farrell for the election?
Yeah, there we go. Blame the blacks.
He's happy.
Blame the blacks.
That's right. We're gonna do it. We found a way.
There it is.
This is America.
There it is, America.
Make Virginia great again.
Obviously, yeah.
All right. Speaking of America doing the most American thing,
I'm not happy.
We alluded to this briefly. But this is called What the Actual Fuck.
Oh, God, that segment.
Hundreds of QAnon supporters traveled to Dallas, Texas earlier this week, to meet in Dealey Plaza, no less, where John F. Kennedy was shot. You may remember that, right? Well, none of us do.
I remember. I was in the book depository building.
That's right. You were there. So...
Too soon?
Yeah. So JFK was shot in Dealey Plaza. The QAnons decided, and I'm not kidding, hundreds of them decided that they were going to go down there and await the return of JFK Jr., who died in 1999 in a plane crash, who was going to show up magically. He had been living in obscurity, I think, in Arkansas, they think, or maybe Nebraska. I don't know, one of those states I don't care about. And he was going to show up and declare himself the vice president of the new Trump-Kennedy 2024 ticket.
The new America Corporation thing, like that whole thing where they were
somehow ties into the 1871 America became a corporation, sovereign citizen nonsense. Yeah. So they were waiting for JFK Jr. to show up, and that was going to somehow herald the return of Trump, who would be inaugurated as the King of Kings.
I thought that was Pimp C.
Right? So, of course, he didn't show up.
I'd love it if it was just someone like random that actually was dead but actually was resurrected, but it's just someone who they would not, like Jerry Lewis or something.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like,
hey, lady!
Hey, nice lady!
So, JFK Jr. doesn't show up, and of course...
he's like DMX. He doesn't show up to shit. We invited him...
So
he wouldn't respond to our LinkedIn request.
Why did you say he doesn't show up?
So he doesn't show up, and the QAnons are like, well, we've got to hurry up and generate some more conspiracy to cover up our being wrong again. So then they're like, no, he's going to come to this Rolling Stones concert that's happening in Dallas a little later that night. Let's all go to the concert. So they all go to the Rolling Stones concert, and then they think that maybe like Keith Richards is secretly JFK Senior, but hiding as Keith Richards all this time.
Well, I actually will say, if Keith Richards is John F. Kennedy, then I will say that he actually looks more
fantastic.
Like, he actually looks more, because JFK would be 104 right now.
Right, and Keith Richards only looks 104, but he's really like 70 something. So
what's this, anthrax?
Yeah, so he doesn't.
All right.
So he doesn't show up there either. But don't worry, they did spot Robin Williams and Tupac, so they know they're onto something.
Look at these big ass birds.
And I am not making any of this up.
No.
Oh my God. Oh.
Yeah, that's where we are. Now, listen, this is fringe even for QAnon, but it's not that fringe. So, this is what's going on. This is what we're up against.
Huzzah!
Right. Okay, some anonymous hucksters created a new cryptocurrency based on the Squid Games, which I haven't watched, and I don't care.
I will be honest, I have not watched it either.
You're going to get thrown out of your stuff.
I was going to say, I haven't, but do I need to see more things that I don't need to be awakened to, like how capitalism works?
Right.
It's crazy.
It's awful.
There's a difference. Like, did you see Parasite, the movie Parasite?
I didn't see that, but
It has sort of those things, but it's so fucking entertaining. It's
that scares me.
All right, anyway, these guys created this cryptocurrency.
Klepto.
And they stole everybody's money.
Because of course they did.
Because of course they did. And I want to tell all of these crypto bro idiots, like, first of all, I don't think you have any idea what you're buying, because this stuff, there's no way to know if the people who are creating the exchange are legitimate or not. And you're using real money to buy fake money.
Look at this. Deaf to regulation.
Yeah, sure.
Audit the Fed, man.
I'm not like opposed to the concept
Jerome
of the blockchain.
Powell is out here trading stocks.
Yeah, I get right. I get how the blockchain works, but I don't think any of these guys do. But I can guarantee you that the fact that you when I ask you how much Bitcoin do you have and you tell it to me in dollars is the tell all right there. If you say, "Oh, I have $100 worth of Bitcoin," right? You have dollars. You didn't say it in Bitcoin. You said it in dollars.
It's going to be no exchange rate.
Dollars is money.
It's going to be.
You didn't say it in yen. You didn't say it in pink pounds.
He hates his pink pounds.
They're in,
or God forbid, euros.
Yeah, also pink
that's
money.
Still a thing.
Illegitimate. You didn't tell me how many
loonies. One
loonies.
nation left.
That's the British in me right there. That's the big stuff. What's going on?
You didn't tell me how many loonies you had.
We will pay with what?
Yes, that's right. Forrest had a good week, though.
Miami's doing some big things
that's
with
your buddy.
Yeah, Boris is interesting. Yo, isn't Miami doing some good thing with crypto? They're bringing all the crypto bros is going down to Miami, and they're
dropping off all their real money.
Dropping off
trying to impress the poll assassins.
It's gonna be insane that two things will go underwater.
Well, if they keep burning up all the carbon trying to calculate the blockchain, they can guarantee it.
I heard they were going to use the nuclear
What's the exchange rate? Put more coal in the oven. What about the passengers in steerage? They'll suffocate.
It'll be fine.
Oh my God, this is gonna be
You saw Guyana is like, hey, we're carbon negative, but we found some oil, and the rest of the world ain't doing shit. We're drilling.
Dang.
They're like,
what am I supposed to say?
They literally.
What am I supposed to say to that?
No, it's fine.
Exactly.
They like literally went
Jonestown will now be Chevron Town.
That's right. Exxon. It's Exxon. They got a deal from Exxon. They literally
a big old tiger on the front of it.
They literally went to the COP26 and they're like, look, we got to get the money now while we can because you idiots aren't doing shit about it. And they're like, fuck y'all. We're drilling. And that's what they're doing. Kojo Nnamdi, not happy. He's from there. You didn't know that.
Yeah, right.
Of course you did. Of course. All right, you hear that music, which means we've come to the end of the show. So we want to say thank you to Charlie for talking some sense into us. We really appreciate it.
Well, you wouldn't even
Shut up! I'm not done yet.
I was gonna say, well, Chip wouldn't let you talk. I was like, hey,
I've been on this show enough times.
Wait till you listen to back. Yo, he had to interject in his.
There's this great moment when Homer on The Simpsons calls up Selma. Selma, my dear, how are you? Listen, shut up for a second.
Yes. All right. Anyway, thanks to our radio partners, Stitcher, Google, iHeart, Amazon, all those folks. Thanks to the NOTN for keeping us on for another week. Twice a week. We're on twice a week.
Yo, I saw that they replay us.
Yeah, they replay us. We're on twice a week. Thanks to our digital media, Enchilada, Keyway in Baltimore. Yeah, vote for us at the Rippies. Please vote for us at the Rippies. Go vote for us at the Rippies.
You just heard this show. God damn it.
RipRadioNetwork.com.
Stuck with us this long.
Yes. Come see us at the Rippies December 18th. And thanks to our home on the interwebs, CoPlay Media. And thanks, as always, to our family here at Rip Radio for making us sound as smooth as Terry McAuliffe dancing.
Yo,
I used to have footage on my phone. I actually recorded this footage of Terry McAuliffe dancing at a 2012 convention party to play that funky music, White Boy.
It can't be any better than that White Boy playing it.
I am signing, if you buy an apron, I'm signing aprons at the Rippies like I'm fucking Pete Rose.
There you go. $80 a pop.
I'll have a table.
That's right. Bring your white women. All right.
Just bring aprons.
Where can everybody find you on the socials there, Charlie?
You can find me at my social, where all the white women at.
Yes.
And it's white women.
Of course it is.
That's O.J. Simpson's fucking
No, I thought it was, are you the real killer?
It's where all the white women at, period.
What is it? Hey World.
Yeah. Yours truly
is. I was fucking up.
You can find me on Twitter at Charles Bright and all my writings at Gold Derby.
There you go. All right, Tez.
You might can find me. I'm probably canceled. You can find me on Twitter at DC Cortez, on Instagram at Ketchum Cordy.
Right, and you can still not find me on Twitter at Chef Chip because I'm still suspended. I think that's indefinite. So just come to the show page, which is Chip Chat RR.
And don't come to the show.
Yeah, and you can find us on Facebook or Instagram or Meta or whatever the hell it's called at Rip Chip Chat, all one word. And you can of course find us on Thursday nights here on Rip Radio at 9:30. I'm Chip, that's Tez, and that's Charlie. You've been listening to Chip Chat on Rip Radio Network.
Sweet!